So
Awesome. All right, I muted everybody out. If you have any questions, feel free to just unmute yourself and interrupt me and ask away. But we're going to go ahead and get started with Power Hour. It is Tuesday, the 16th of January. We've already got 2 weeks in the books. That means we got 50 weeks left to go in this year. Hopefully you are off to a banging start, blowing things up. I am currently in Lubbock, Texas. So had a 14-hour commute from Houston. Should have taken me about 8.5, and it took a little bit longer yesterday. If you hadn't heard, it's cold in Texas, and we don't know what to do with that, especially in Houston. But glad I made it out, and it's been a great day so far. I met a lot of folks here on the team in person, and we're off and running. Big shout out to Brandon Taylor for meeting up with us this morning. And he was soaking up the information like a sponge. He is off to the races. We had another meeting in the afternoon with Shelly and Heather. And then after Heather left, Mr. Salge was there as well. And he left, and Shelly and I went after it. She called her first person, put him on the phone with me, basically introduced me, edified me. I got them talking to him for about 5 minutes. They dropped what they were doing, came over to her shop to be able to see what was going on, and didn't come empty-handed, brought another person with them. I gave them a presentation on the spot, and they were enrolled about 17 and a half minutes later. And then after they joined, then they went ahead and got their friend that came with them also enrolled. And then after that, we got them certified, and then they had to go. But it's been off to an awesome start. If you're in the Lubbock area, just to let you know, we're going to be doing a training, not a training, we're going to be doing a workshop tomorrow night. It's going to be at Brandon and Jennifer's, and information about that will be coming out on the channel here soon, but look for that. This is not going to be that won't be a social occasion. That's going to be a work occasion. We are going to sit you down, show you what to do, and we're going to get some customers enrolled and blow this thing up. So it's been awesome to see what's already been built with the leaders here in town, with Mr. Stallard coming in, and it's been great to come in here and just pour jet fuel on this fire. And you are going to see it all the way up there in the Northeast. It's going to be so hot. So a lot of fun here in Lubbock. And if you know anybody in Lubbock, if you know anybody that knows anybody that knows anybody in Lubbock, reach out to them and set up some time. I'll be here this week, and then I'll be back all next week as well. And then we'll reevaluate and see what's going on. But Mr. Sallard will also be here. And we've got a lot of leaders here locally, looking at a lot of them on the Zoom right now. So it's been really good. There's a lot of excitement in this town, and it's a beautiful opportunity. So with that, one of the other things that we were working on today that Mr. Stallard put together, and I'm very happy with it. It looked awesome, and we made some updates to it, and that is out on the link tree, something that I'm going to train on tonight, and that is our updated launch document. You heard Mr. David Daniel last week during Power Hour do an amazing job of really laying it down. What are the steps that we do? And I love that. And that's the next step that we need to focus in on here as a team as we're building this. We've had a lot of people come in. We've got a ton of business partners, energy advisors that have joined. I've never had an organization that is so tilted this way, where we have more business partners almost than we do customers. There's usually a different ratio, but we've been growing so rapidly, which is so awesome. And it's a great, not even a problem, but it's a great thing to have, because that means now with all of these folks, it's time to make sure everybody is enrolling some customers, especially in the Lubbock area. I know I'm talking about that a lot tonight, but the timing of it is very, very special in that we are in the time slot where people can enroll, and they can do that up until February 15th. And if they don't make a choice in the next month, then one will be made for them. They're going to participate in energy deregulation, whether they want to or not. And in the rest of the continent where we are deregulated, we're all in markets. Folks have that choice already. And so the name of the game is, ultimately, we need customers. You can have all the business partners in the world, but if you don't have any customers, then it's kind of defeating the purpose of getting the business partners. The whole idea when you're doing this business is You want to make sure that customers are coming in, and you want them to be in your organization. You don't care where they come in your organization, but anywhere in there is going to help you from a promotion perspective. So you don't have to personally sign them all up. But somebody in your organization is going to need to get customers. You need to get customers, and your energy advisors underneath you need to get customers. You can get more customers if you have more energy advisors getting customers. Then it's not just you going out and getting customers. It's the power of the scale, the power of the network. And so when and Keith nailed it, when we're inviting people to join our business, we're gathering a handful of customers and we're looking for other customer gatherers. We need to make sure that we're getting down our effort to make sure everybody knows how to go do that and what's necessary to do that. So I'm going to touch on that. And I'm going to pull up the document that Mr. Salge has put together so that we can review that. I want folks on here to see that. And then I want to make sure that not only are you guys clear on it, I want to make sure that the people in your organization are clear on it. And then we can continue to grow. And we need this meeting to keep growing. It should be growing exponentially because our business is growing exponentially. So what that means is the word's not getting out. That's not just our job to post on Messenger and the couple different channels that we have that, hey, Power Hour's coming. We have it on all of our documents. It's a standard thing. It's you guys need to get that word out to make sure it drives through your network. So you really need to push that and do that up and down in your organization. The more people above you that are blowing this up, it will help your business. It will help your organization. Momentum is momentum. As long as it's happening in the team, anywhere in the team, you can feed off of that and you can catch fire just like that. That's what's going on in Lubbock right now. There is full-blown momentum. I mean, people are seeing it. They're understanding it. There's an urgency. Doesn't matter what market you're in. You need to operate from a perspective of urgency. Anytime that you can get out there, that's one day closer than somebody else talking to the people that you know on your list. So from a launch perspective, what are the steps that we do? I want to make sure that I repeat this so that everybody's clear, and I'll weave this into 535. When you first get started, one of the things, and probably why you're here, is you want to know how to do the business. Everybody, hey, I get it. Okay, how do I do it? What do I do next? What are the steps that I need? All of that is extremely important to be able to know. But, and here's a big but, which means everything before that is nullified whenever you use the word but it's not the most important thing. The most important thing in your business is why. Because this business, without a doubt, the people I've been talking to, it's like a complete no-brainer. People hear what we do. They realize that it costs $129 to get started. They're going to be their own customer. That means they're going to get a $100 gift card. So instead of $129, it's $29 to get started. Then when they become their own first customer, they're going to get a $20 bonus. So that means it costs $9.95 to get started in the business. And then if they pay their light bill for 10 months, they're going to get $1 each month in residual. And so now they have made a nickel so far in 10 months that Think Energy is going to pay them simply for enrolling. I'm making very light of the math of this, that this is a no-brainer. So since it's easy to get started, and while $129 isn't anything to sneeze at, I went to HEB and I spent $146 for me for the next 2 weeks, and I'll probably go again. I could have paid that on groceries, or I could put it towards this. So this isn't like you're deciding on, do I pay my mortgage or do I, buy a whole house for opening a business? It's not the same equivalency of dollars. So what's got to keep you in the business has got to be your why. And I'm harping on this because if you don't get your why nailed down, it's going to be easy to get knocked out of this business. If it's easy to get in, it's easy to get out. But if you get in and you associate this with the path, the means to get you to your why, then you're going to get in a relationship with yourself, with your why. You ever hear of the honeymoon phase? Anybody ever gone through the honeymoon phase in a relationship? They can do no wrong. They're the greatest person in the whole wide world. You can't wait to see them. You get upset when you haven't seen them in 6 minutes. You're calling them, just every second of the day. And then you go through that. And when you do that, there is a melding, there's a bond that you form with that person that's a very deep bond. And then after that, it's a lot harder to get out of that relationship. It's easy to get into that relationship, but it's a whole lot harder to get out of it. As time goes on and that bond continues to cement, it's very difficult, a lot harder. Not saying it's not breakable, but it's harder to get out of that. You need to form that marriage, that relationship with your why. If you're going to write anything down tonight, I would write that down. Form a relationship with your why. I want to reframe that for you guys so that everybody's heard that. Okay, write down your why. Okay, got it. What's the why that makes me cry? Okay, got it. Let's move on. How do I do this business? No. This is something you got to think about every single day, multiple times a day. Mr. Daniel talked about that last week, and he spent a lot of time on that. The number of times he thinks about being retired from the fire department, and he loves the fire department, but the number of times he thinks about that is astronomical. And as a result of that, that keeps him tied to his why. It is paramount. It is front and center in his mind. He wakes up, and I'm sure that's probably amongst the top 3 things that he thinks about. So make sure that's what you've got going on with your why. If you haven't taken that time, do that. People will spend more time planning out vacation that they're going to take 6 months from now than they are going to spend planning out the next 5, 10, and 20 years of their life. You'll spend more time figuring out, if you're blessed to take a week off, what you're going to do in that week compared to what you're going to do with your life. Why does that happen? We get our dreams beat out of us, right? We get a mortgage, we get a family, we get responsibilities, we have car notes, we have school loans, inflation, jobs that we don't like, and we get in a rut, and we just keep getting in that rut, and we keep getting that rut. But when you started this, you saw a way, there was a spark of dream that hit you where you're like, I can achieve something with this. I don't know if it was $100 a month that you saw. I don't know if it was $500 a month. I don't know if it was 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, $1 million a month. I don't know what it was for your number, but there was something, there was a number, most likely, that said, if I can make that much money, this would allow me to do the thing I want to do, or to achieve the thing that I want to have possession of. Whatever that is, make sure you think about that every day. Not just the thing, but how the thing will make you feel. You don't just think about the person that you're in a relationship with. You think about how you feel, that warm fuzzy that you have when you're in a relationship. That's what you think of. And that's what you need to make sure that you're associating with your why, and focus on that. Hammer that in every day, multiple times a day. Long time ago, before, I had it like, it's like breathing for me now. But when I first started, I literally would set my alarm, and every hour, at the top of the hour or the bottom of the hour, depending on how my meetings were going, I would have that go off 12 different times a day. And all it would do is just like a train whistle that just kind of knocks you out of it. And all of a sudden you're like, yep, think about that, man. Oh, especially after I just finished that meeting and I want to take that person out back and show them a 2 before, you have those days, right? That's how it was for me. And I kept doing that and kept doing that. And it was front and center. So when I got frustrated, or I had some obstacle in my business, or I was tired, or I didn't want to make the phone call, or I didn't want to make the drive, or I didn't want to do the thing, I brought that back. And what that does is, it's not a motivation. It should be an inspiration. And there's a big difference between those two. You want the inspiration. You don't want somebody to come in here and blow smoke up your ear so you get all excited and then 3 minutes later it's gone. You want something that inspires you. And the thing that will inspire you is you and what it is that you want. So make sure you're spending the time on that. After you get that done, the number one asset that you bring to this business, it's not your time, it's not your energy, it's not your efforts. The thing that you bring, it's not the number of dollars that you have in the bank account. What you bring to this equation is your network, the people you know. The whole purpose of this business is that you're going to go into the network of people that you have established relationships with, that you have built trust over time. You're going to feel confident in moving to them and offering them something that you believe in that has worked for you. You don't go unless you're just, trolling your friend and tell them, hey, I watched this movie over the weekend. Great movie. You should really watch that movie. You're not getting paid for that referral. You're not doing any, it's just something that you do. I like this. You and I know each other. This could be something that could be good for you. If your friend doesn't watch the movie, you're not going to get upset about that. You're not going to say you can't be my friend ever again. But you're going to make a referral because you believed in the movie, or you went to a restaurant and it was terrible service and the food was crap. And your friend says, hey, what'd you do this weekend? Oh my God, we went to this restaurant. It was terrible. Oh, where'd you go? Whatever, blah, blah, blah. Your friend's like, I ain't going there because of your recommendation. It's what we do. So what you bring to this business, you're not in the energy business. Think Energy is an energy business. Michael Falquist is in the energy business. Brad Tales is in the energy business. You are not. You are on the network marketing arm. You are in the customer gathering business. You can do that two ways. You can personally bring those customers to the table and make the referral, or you can find some customer gatherers that you know that want to make some money and bring them to the table. And then they talk to the people they know and bring customers to the table. Nowhere in the compensation plan does it say you need a minimum of 43 business partners, energy advisors to be in your business before you can rank up. Nowhere in there does it show that at all. We have a cool formula called 535. That's just an example on how you can get promoted. But ultimately, it comes down to 20 customers. If you get 3 people that are energy advisors and they each get 5 and you get 5, that'll get you to 20. But ultimately, it's 20 customers. It's not 3 energy advisors that get you promoted. So you need customers. To do that, to have those conversations, to ultimately get a customer directly or indirectly through an energy advisor getting a customer, you have a list. That is your most precious commodity that you have in this business. If you open up a retail store, your inventory is extremely important. If you don't have inventory and there's nothing on the shelves, people are going to walk in and go, that's weird. They'll walk right back out. There's nothing for them to buy. It's the most precious commodity asset that you have in the business. If you don't have that, you don't have anything. This business, the asset, is your list. You know, as Mr. Daniel mentioned last week, when you're 18 years old, statistically speaking, you know 2,000 people. Now, you might not be able to have total recall of all of them right now where you can write out their phone numbers, their names, and all of it, but they are in there somewhere, layered in there with a whole bunch of useless trivia pursuit answers that will probably not be needed, but they're in there. Your job is to extract them. I sit here and I watch. I literally sit across this table to Mr. Stallard and I looked at his sheet. The reason that he blows it up is he's got a bigger list because he's just written more names down. And then he simply goes through like a freaking robot Terminator and contacts every single one of them and follows up with every single one of them. And he just keeps doing that. Mr. Daniel mentioned he just outworks everybody. That's all it is. It's not a secret formula. He just follows the system really well. Do you have a list? Does that list have at least 100 names on it? We talked about this a lot today in the back office here. They were like, what's the number that we should say? Should we? Does that scare people? Does 100 names freak people out? And ultimately, I said, if you can't write down 100 damn names, you don't need to be in this business. I'm just being flat out, straight up, blunt to the point. Now, it doesn't mean you got to call 100, but you got to have 100 because that shows that you're willing to sit down and do the steps. When you have that commodity, the most prized thing that you can have in this business, and you start reaching out to a couple people, and let's say the first 5 don't answer, or they say, no, I'm not interested. I won't even be your customer. you're probably in some Ponzi scheme and you're probably going to jail. Like, I'm just being over the top now, right? If those first 5 did that, and you had a list of 10 people, and you're brand new, how long do you think you're going to be in the business? Not long. You just had a 50% failure rate. If you have 100 names on your list and 5 say no, what do you care? You got 95 still to go. And according to our little formula, you need 5 customers. If you get 3 customers, yourself and 3 others, you're going to get 10% off your light bill if you're in an area that you can be a customer. You get 10 customers, you get 5, you've done the 5 of the 5, 3, 5. If you do 10, you're going to get 40% off your energy supply. Got 100 names on there, you're going to find, statistically speaking, there is absolutely no way that you're going to get more than 90 no's out of 100. If you do, you are definitely approaching this with the wrong script. But have you literally talked to 100 people? Have you first started by writing 100 names down? And secondary, have you actually reached out to 100 people? If you haven't, you have a hobby. You do not have a business yet. And that's okay. There is no problem with that. That might be what you want to do with this. That's your call. I have a great phrase I like to use. It's you remember the old Pac-Man games where you got the flat table and you got your little, they have it at the pizza places. You have your slice of pizza and you got your drink sitting on there, and it was the flat top, and then you're playing Pac-Man. Dave and I had one of those at one of the houses we rented in for the families in Destin. It was pretty cool, and we were playing that a lot. But when you're playing that game, it's your turn. There's a lot of people looking over your shoulder telling you how you need to move this and go here and go that. You look at them and say, shut up. It's not your turn. It's my turn. This was my quarter. I put my quarter in this video game. I'm going to play this round however the hell I want to play it. It's none of your business. If you join this business and you want to just talk to 10 people and you're done and that's it, that's cool. It's your quarter. It's your video game. You play it how you want to. If that why is profound and you want to blow this thing up, and you've gotten that why really, really clear, and you've written a list, make sure it's got 100 names on it. That's my proposal to you on how to play Pac-Man like you mean it. Once you have that list, what are you going to do with it? Now you're going to start reaching out. And that can be very daunting. You can do all of those steps and there's no problem. There's no fear of rejection. Nobody comes in and going, well, that's stupid. Why'd you write that list down? No, that's just you and a piece of paper. You're writing that down. No one's had any interaction with you. But now the rubber hits the road. Now it's time to actually talk to somebody. You stand up, go up to the microphone to talk, and your body sits back down sometimes, right? You're getting ready to call somebody that you've talked to 50 times in the last 2 weeks because they're your best friend, and all of a sudden you get cotton mouth and I don't know how to talk anymore. I mean, it's just dumb what happens to our brain. If that happens to you, I guarantee you need to reframe what's in your mind because you think you're trying to get something from the person on your list that you're getting ready to call. If you're calling them to say, dude, guess what? Joe, I found the cure to cancer. There's no cottonmouth when you call Joe to tell him that. It's conversation. Now, what we've got is not as profound as a cure to cancer. It's much simpler than that. It is saving some money on an electricity bill. That's ultimately all we're trying to do. Do you want to save money on your electricity bill? If anybody gets butthurt over you calling them, offering to save them some money on their electricity bill, you might want to reevaluate who's on your list. If you approach it, and they'll sense your energy, they'll know something's off. You know how somebody can walk in a room, haven't said a word, but you can tell they're just off for the day. Something's not right. Can't put your finger on it. Something's not right. They'll sense that on the phone. Happens all the time. You got to make sure you're in the right frame of mind, that you're coming to help them, because you are. You're offering them an opportunity. You're offering them the opportunity to save some money on their bill. So that's the next step. You're reaching out to them and say, hey, can you do me a favor? It'll help me and it'll help you. If it didn't cost you a dime and it would help me out, would you do me a favor? If it wouldn't change any habits that you currently have and it would save you some money, would you do me a favor? They're going to say yes. There's a great scene from, I think it's The Town, and it's Jeremy Renner and Ben Affleck. And Ben Affleck walks in, and Jeremy's sitting there in a chair. Ben Affleck says, I need your help. I can't tell you what we're getting ready to do. There's a good chance we're going to hurt somebody. Are you in or are you out? Jeremy Renner's his friend sitting in the chair. He sits there, looks down for a second. He goes, whose car are we taking? That's a friend. You're not asking them to go cause bodily harm to someone. You're getting ready to ask them if they do you a favor so you can save them some money on their light bill. That's what we're doing. Ultimately, that is the name of the game. We don't have to do that 1,000 times. You can. We don't have to. 24 is all you need. That gets you free energy, and 4 more that gets you to senior partner, the top level in the organization. You need no more than that. So what I would suggest everybody does is they get that list, if it's not to 100, and make sure it's written down. This is the one time where I'm a technology guy. Good Lord, I love technology. But I also have, that's still in the car, I also have a clipboard. And on that clipboard, I have a, where you just peel off the paper, like a legal pad. White paper. I carry that around. I still make notes. Do that and write the names down, because here's a physiological fact. You get a pen, you get a paper, and you start doing this on that paper. This thing kicks into a different gear. You get into a different wavelength. Literally, if you had electrodes mounted on your head, you would start seeing a different wave pattern when you start doing that. And when you do that, you start accessing the database of your brain, and names start popping out. When I was with these 2 guys that just enrolled, you can literally see smoke coming off of their heads because their brains are turning so fast. And they're saying, I am just thinking of so many people's names. And I was like, write those down right now. Because your brain gets into that mode. And when you start doing this, it gets into that mode and those names start pouring out. So I would suggest, before your head hits the pillow tonight, you sit down, review your why, and write down 100 names of people. Well, Casey, I got them in my phone. I've got 1,500 contacts. It's good. It's not. It's not the way to do it. I promise you. So trust me on this one, please. Take my word for it. Try it and see. A whole bunch of different things will happen. Keep that list next to your bed. You're going to wake up in the middle of the night and you're going to have 4 more names that you need to write down. And if you don't do it right, then you're going to lose them by the time you make it to the living room. Get a list of 100 names and put a check mark in that box. Now, y'all might be on this and you're like, for the love of God, it's been 30 minutes and you've told me so far that I need to get married to my why and I need to write down a list of 100. Could we move on to something else? I am extremely cognizant of the time that I'm spending on this. It's that big of a deal. Then reach out to them. What do I say? You can make an assumption of if they're going to be good at the business, or if they be good at a customer, or if they be good at both, or they're good at neither. You can do that. You can prejudge people, but I would recommend that you don't. I would recommend you ask them. Don't make that decision for them. Ask them. Joe, been a long time, man. How you been? What you been up to? How's the family? What's Mikey doing? Is he driving yet? Is he playing sports? Oh, he's only 7? Yeah, I got lost on that. My bad. Have fun with it, the conversation with your friend. Connect with them on a human level. Hey, man, the reason I'm calling, I'll get to it. They know you're calling for something. So don't make it weird. Hey, I'm calling you. Got to tell you about this thing I'm super excited about. You know that why I've had for a long time? You remember how we used to talk about it, how I wanted to have a place down by the water? And I wanted the kids to be able to go down there. I wanted you to bring Mikey out. I wanted you to be able to, bring the family. I want to be there with mine. We wanted to have the boat, the jet skis, the whole thing. Well, man, I'm tired of talking about it being a someday because I looked on the calendar and someday does not show up on there. There's Monday, there's Tuesday, there's Sunday, but someday is not on the calendar. And I'm tired of that. It's first of the year. I want to do something new. I got partnered with some people that I'm super excited about. I got something I'm very excited about. Do you still keep your options open for earning additional income? Yes or no? He will tell you. She will tell you. If you've only got 10 names on your list, you're going to be really nervous to ask them such a straightforward question because you've got it in your head that you've got a finite supply of the most important resource, natural resource of this business. You've only got so much granite and you make granite countertops. So you got to make sure you do it exactly right. No, you have an infinite, for all practical purposes, you have an infinite amount of resources, natural resources of names. So if you only got 10 on the list, you'll be nervous. You got 100, you're less nervous. Put 1,000 on a list and you don't care. You start getting nervous at around 875, maybe. You talk to 875 people, you are retired. Just so y'all know. Following what we've got in this blueprint on the launch document, you talk to 875 people, you're done. You're good. Your kids will appreciate you. There will be a picture of you. You'll be long gone, buried somewhere. And it's going to be on a mantle in this huge ass house. It's probably 3 stories. It's got columns up front, something about some manor. And there you are on this velvet 16-foot tall freaking picture, looking all sophisticated with a hand in your jacket, another one on a big old chair. It's going to be a dinner party, and they're going like, who's the old guy? That's my great, great, great grandpappy, Casey Salge, and thank God he talked to 875 people because of doing that, we live in this house. And I'm not exaggerating on those numbers. So get that list, reach out to them, and actually make contact with another human being and ask them if they want to make some money. If they say no, say, cool, you want to save some money? If they say no, say, cool, good luck. Talk to you later. Scratch that one through. Don't like cut them out with scissors or anything like it's some psycho movie. Just put a little line through and go to the next one and reach out to them. Because here's the deal. A lot of people are going to say no. That's cool. If you have 100 names and you treat this like baseball, and it's like, man, I don't like baseball, but you get the concept of at bats or batting 1,000. You've heard these words before. Man, he's batting 1,000 a day. That means out of 1,000 swings, he made contact with the ball 1,000 times. Doesn't happen. Maybe by the, in the first game of the season, but that doesn't happen. So the batting average of 300 plus in a lifetime of a career will put you in the Hall of Fame. That means they missed the ball and struck out 7 out of 10 times. 100 swings or 100 at bats, they failed 70 times. 1,000, they failed 700 times. They get up to bat 10,000 times, they struck out 7,000 times. And they get put in the Hall of Fame, and they're probably earning $62 million a year in the Major League Baseball. If they bat 200, they only get 20% success. They're going to have a very solid career. They're going to make a lot of money. That means they missed 8 out of 10 times. 800 out of 1,000 times they missed. And they're still making one hell of a living in Major League Baseball. This business is extremely similar to those numbers. You just got to have enough at-bats. And to have enough at-bats, you got to have a list. So you're going to reach out to them, and you're going to find out, do they want to make money? If they do or don't, great. Do you want to save money? If they do or don't, great. If they do on either one of those, let's say the business side, get them in front of the information. How do I do that? There are several very simple ways that do not require you doing much of anything other than forwarding a link. You have forwarded stupid cat memes off of TikTok and Facebook to your best friends. Otherwise, you're not their best friend if you haven't done that. So instead of that, you're going to forward a link. And that link is going to take them to a video. And Mr. Tony Procopio is going to spend anywhere from 6 to 11 minutes, and he's going to explain the business to them. Or you're going to give them a link to a Zoom where Mr. Stallard's going to do a presentation, or Tony's going to do a presentation, or a number of people are going to do a presentation. And they're going to look at that information. And they're going to understand it or they're not. If they understand it, they're going to want to join or not. If they don't understand it, that means they have questions. And they're going to ask those questions. And you don't even have to answer those questions. You are going to use your organization that you're a part of. That's an extremely strong organization that has a ton of leaders that understand this business and can answer those questions. You don't even have to answer the questions. You just got to point and say, you need to talk to this guy. That's a great question. I have absolutely no idea, because here's what I know. I know that I'm excited about this business. I know that I understand enough for me to make a decision to do it, but I don't understand everything about it, because the same way that when I start a job, I don't understand everything I'm supposed to do here on day one. I found out where the bathroom was, and I found out when we eat lunch. That's what you do on day one at a job. That's all you got to do here. You got to be able to say, good question, don't know the answer, but hold on a second, I got a guy that has the answer. And you look in your back office and you find the person that sponsored this person who sponsored this person, and you'll find your leader in there if you don't know who they are. And if you don't know, you can reach out to me or Mr. Dave or any of the folks that came in of like, who am I supposed to talk to? And if you can't figure it out, reach out to me directly. Reach out to somebody on Messenger, which is where you found the link to this. And we will be there to be able to answer those questions for you. So when they have questions, they get those answered, and then we're going to put them to a decision. I did that today. I gave them a presentation. Shelly got them, literally invited them, said, hey, would you like to talk to this guy? Yeah, sounds good. I got on the phone on speaker. They came over, I gave them the presentation. I asked if they had any questions. I answered the 2 or 3 questions, and then I put them to a decision. You guys ready to get started, or what you going to do? Heck yeah. What do we do? So sit down in that computer chair, and we're going to enroll you right here. And that's what you do. That would have been the exact same thing I would have said if they were going to be a customer. I'm not interested in making money, but I want to save money. Great. You have any questions? No. You ready to get enrolled as a customer? Yes. Great. Instead of clicking the Become an Energy Advisor, click the one that says Become a Customer. Fill out the questions. I don't even have to tell them what to do. I did not sit there and explain anything to them on the business side other than what the website address part meant. It's self-explanatory. On the customer side, didn't even have to explain that. Shelly signed up, didn't ask me one single question, because it's so obvious on what we do. It's that simple. We're not going to the moon here. We're putting in some information, and that's all we do. When that's done and they verify their email, you are done gathering that customer. You will now get paid for the next 36 months on that customer if they signed up for the 36-month plan. And the chances of them renewing after that are extremely high, like 98% that they're going to renew. Those are the numbers. And you will keep getting paid on that customer until forever. Just go talk to 875 people. That's all we do. There is nothing else into this thing than that. That is the basic paint by numbers thing that we do. So I'm going to spend some time. I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to show y'all. You're like, you could have showed me this up front, and I wouldn't have had to take all these damn notes that I've been writing, but whatever, dude. So let me show you this screen. Let's see if this works. Let me give me a thumbs up if you see the fast track to success. Good deal. Thank you, sir. This document, let me first tell you where it can be found. Anybody know about Linktree? This should be one of the items that you have bookmarked. You click on that, And this is where, if you're a business partner, you come for all the stuff that you need for your business. It's got a fast start training, a back office login. There's a launch document because you start here. There's a Facebook group. There's a corporate Facebook page. There's a schedule. There's the corporate schedule. There's the videos. Every business in a box, folks. Everything you need right here. All kinds of goodies in here. So you click on this launch document. It opens this. And now you've got your document. I'm going to do it in this view. Congratulations, you are a new energy advisor. Let's write down a couple of the key things. What's your advisor ID? What's your website? Who sponsored you? Who's the person that you went to their website and enrolled? Do you have their phone number? Write all this stuff down. Who's their upline leader? Call your sponsor and say, who begat who that begat who that begat who? Who are the leaders? They'll tell you. If they don't know, reach out to me. Checklist. What do you need to do? Download the app. Save and bookmark. Here's the link trees. Your customer link. Get all of this information nailed down so that you have it. Put it in someplace safe. Do it on this document. Print this document out. Use your pen and fill it out. Keep this with you in a folder. Save your customer referral website. I want to walk through and show you something on this in just a second. Get certified. Go into your back office. You cannot enroll any customers. Today, the two gentlemen that enrolled, the guy that enrolled last, he was still sitting in front of the computers. So let's get this energy certification done. What do we do? Click that link right there. Log in. Walk your people through this. Make sure they're doing it. Make sure you're doing it if you just enrolled. And then duplicate that. Shelly was there. She had just went through the certification today. And then she had new people show up. She followed the script, got them there. I did the rest. They joined the business. And then she jumped in and said, hey, let's go ahead and do this. And she sat there and walked them through because she just learned how. And there's duplication. I sit there on my phone, playing on LinkedIn, meeting some new people. That's the power of this business, being able to duplicate with or without you. Make sure you get your background check done. Become your own first customer. So many of you have not done this. Now, it might be because you can't be your own customer. It might be because you're in a contract. It might be 1,000 reasons. Just because you're in a contract doesn't mean it's so much easier to tell your people, hey, you should be a customer in this. Well, are you a customer? Nah, I'm waiting for my contract to finish before I enroll. Man, how weird would that sound? Somebody walks into your retail business and say, hey, do you actually use any of these products? Oh, hell no, man. That's crazy talk. Why would I do that? They would turn around and walk out of your store. You had a pizza shop. Hey, how's the pizza here? I don't know, man. I never eat this stuff. I just make it. That's weird. You can't make a personal recommendation that way. So be a product of the product. Be your own customer. Get your own first check. I got distracted earlier when I was talking about this, but when you become your own customer, you're going to get a $100 gift card. It cost $129 to get started. So there's $100. So it's cost you $29. I went through that and I was telling them. You're basically getting your business for free. And we haven't even talked about the expenses yet for your own business that are all write-offs for things that you're already doing anyway. You're already driving, you're already eating out. All of those things are expenses for you. Be your own first customer. Excuse me, get your own check and be able to show something. Look, I've already got paid on this thing. People getting in business, they spend hundreds of thousands of dollars and they do not get a return on their investment for years. You can have a return on your investment in the first 6 minutes you're in the business. Log into your free Energy Club portal. Make sure you have your link ready. Define your why. Spell it out. Don't just put in what, but put in how it makes you feel. Develop your prospect list. Start with 100 names. You don't have to call them all right now. Don't prejudge anybody. Just get the names on the paper. Memory jogger. I don't know anybody. Well, that's because your brain isn't thinking about it in the right way. Jog it a little bit. Break it loose. Get the rust a little loose off of it. How many? You got parents, maybe grandparents, maybe brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles. Do you know a plumber? No, I don't know a plumber. Well, I bet you have some card from some plumber somewhere. Call that guy. I bet you they use electricity. Who takes care of your lawn? Have you been in a limousine in a while? Some past jobs. Some people you don't want to work with. I get it, but there's some people there you like. You can call them. High school friends. UPS driver. They all have a side hustle. Your dentist. They've been scrutinized. Now that joke doesn't hold. We'll keep moving. You can get 100 names before you go to bed tonight. Use that. What do we do next? Customer scripts. Joe, need your help. It's really important to me. Do you have just a couple minutes? If it wouldn't cost you anything, wouldn't cost you any convenience, would actually save you some money, would you do me a favor? Of course. Whose car are we taking? Started my own business. Put your why in there. Read the script to them. Hello, my name is Joe. I'm here to sell magazines. No, don't do it that way, right? Make this your own. Have a conversation with them. Get the gist of this. Use this for bullet points, talking points. You don't have to read it verbatim, but make sure you get the main items out of here. If they have any questions, three-way call or put them in touch with somebody via text. Hey, I don't know the answer to that, but let me put you on with somebody. I'm going to text them. They're busy, but they're going to get back to you. Is that okay? Absolutely. You don't even ask. In fact, don't even ask them. Hey, it's a good question. I'm going to put this in a three-way text, and they're going to answer the question. Take control. Customer enrollment checklist. This, I like it because I added it to the list today. But that said, this is the information that you need to know. I'm going to drop a bomb on you like I did to some folks in Lubbock today. When you send out your link to your prospective customers, you might as well be sending that off to Bill Gates at Microsoft.com. You're going to have as much reaction from that as you will if you send it to Bill. The joke there is when you send a link to somebody, they're not going to do anything. When's the last time somebody sent you a link and asked you to do something? Did you do it? No. You had full intention of helping them out, but now it's like, nah, man, I'm too busy. I got this going on. I got to look at my phone. I got some cat memes I got to get sent out to my other friends. I ain't got time for that. So we just don't do it. So what do? You get their information. Somebody wants to be a customer. Say, I'll be your customer. Great. Here's the link. Log in, do that. No, man, that sounds like work. What you do is you say, great, you're ready to be my customer? I need 2 minutes. I need to get some information. You've been my best friend for 37 years. What's your first name? No, you fill this out. You already know their name. You know where they live. Put that in there. If you're not clear, get it from them, but fill this out. Are they moving and they're getting ready to set up new service, or are they at a current location and they're switching? Circle which one. What's the date that they want their service? Is it on the first available date that they can do it, or is it a specific date because they're coming out of a contract? Circle one. If it's a specific date, fill it out. What's their date of birth? You better know your best friend's birthday. You might not know the year. You can ask them that question, but you can't ask the date and the month. And if you want to be sly, you say, hey, what's your birthday? And then they tell you, say, how do you not know my birthday? Well, I know it was October 15th. I just didn't know what year. And you can slough it off that way. All right. That's a joke. Last four of the social. We don't need their full social. Back in the day, we had to get their full social security. Do you know the teeth that we would have to pull to get a customer? It was insane, the whining that would happen. Nobody complains about the last four. Credit card number. Look, man, I'm not going to buy anything. I'm just going to take care of this for you. Give me that information so I can enter it into the screen. If you want to jot it down here, do it. If you write the information on here, you must destroy this paper when you get done. Okay? Expiration date. You need to know the month and the year. You need to know the 3 digits on the back. You need to know is the name on the credit card the same as the customer? Circle that. Or is it under a different name? Maybe it's under the wife's name and the electricity's under the husband's name, whatever. What's your credit card billing address? Is it the same as where you're at? If they're moving, if they're new, setting up new service, there's a good chance that the billing address of the credit card is at their old place. Make sure you put that in correctly and get the other information that they need here. That's everything that you need to be able to enroll a customer. That's all you need. Get that information and enter it yourself. Go to your webpage. And when you get to your web page, then you go to here and become a customer. And then you fill out all that information that was on there is everything you need for here. Put in their zip code. Don't ask, enroll them for the 36 months and keep moving. If there's been a discussion or it's come up, then you can get into extra detail. But the simplest path, they don't care. 98% of the population does not give a damn. So don't ask them 1,000 questions that you don't want to know all that stuff. They don't want to know all that stuff. If they do, tell them. But if they don't, enroll them. Enter in their information. You got their street address. Hit next. It'll look it up and it'll verify. You don't need to ask them for their ESI ID. You don't need to confirm it. Just make sure the address is right. This is what it's going to be. It doesn't matter. If you got this right, that's going to be right. If you have the address right, the ESI is right. This is I'm switching my service or I'm moving to a new address. This is the new address. This is the switch. You asked that question earlier. If you're moving, what day? If you're switching, you want it on the first available or a specific date. I'm moving to a new address. I want it to happen. This can do it tomorrow. Cool. That works. What's your name again? You know their name. Fill it out. What's their email address? You know that. Fill it out. Phone number, date of birth, password. Don't ask what they want their password to be. Type in Superman 1. Capital S and the number 1, and you get a green check mark. They can change it later. Fast, get it done, get out the door so they can go on with their day. Once all that information is in there, last for their social. The service address is going to be the same as the billing address. Next. Next screen is going to come up and it's going to ask for their credit card information, and there's some check boxes. Fill that out, you're done. The next screen that comes up after that is verify your information. There's an option for verifying it via text or verifying it via email. I always choose text. They're on the phone with you, talking on their cell phone 99.9% of the time. And they don't have to go check their email. It's like, hey, you're going to get a text. Oh, there's a text. You hear it vibrate when you're talking to them. Open that up, click that link. What does that do? It verifies that we have the right information. Well, yeah, because it came here. Yeah, click the button. When they click that button, the enrollment is done. There's nothing else to do. If that takes you more than 3 minutes, you've been talking about a whole bunch of other stuff besides enrolling them. And that's fine. But if you want to get this thing done, it will take 3 minutes by doing it that way. So fill out that information. I just realized we do not have email address on here. We need to make an update to that. So we'll do that. We'll make an update. Make sure you get their email address too. You do that, you've got a customer. Social media posts. You guys can come back and read all this. I don't want to keep reading to you for the last bit. I want to open up for some questions. Build your team. Have an event. That can be a virtual event. Have a launch of your business. Reach out to some people. Get some people on a Zoom. All that is a Zoom, and you push play, and other people will do that for you. But invite the heck out of people. You have that big takeoff that Mr. Daniel was talking about for making the airplane take off. Push on the gas in the beginning. Invite 10, 15, 20 people quickly. The top people on your list of 100. Put a little star next to them. That dude owns multiple businesses. That guy is an entrepreneur. That guy has his act together. That guy knows everybody. That girl is connected to everyone. Find those top possibilities and reach out to them first. You got to talk to somebody. You might as well start with your go-getters. Today, Shelly, hey, who can we talk to? Man, I know a guy that's a hustler. He gets after it. What's his name? Javon. Cool, let's call him. Put him on speaker. Javon, do you know anybody? Yeah, I got Micah. Get in the car, come over. Boom, boom. From the time she called him to the time they were in the business and certified, it was 2.5 hours. Just do it. The scripts are there. Meeting checklist, 535. Everything that you need for this business is in here. Talks about the different groups and what they're for, bookmarks that you might need. Everything that you need is in this 10-page document. So again, you go out to Team Mesa, first one, launch document. If you haven't done all of those things, print that out, get after it. Before you even print it out, get you a sheet of paper, write down 100 names. That should be everybody's homework before you go to bed tonight. If you want to be held accountable to that and you agree to that, you want to send that to me, take a screenshot of it and send it. Better yet, take a screenshot of that and post it to the Team Mesa messenger group and show people that you are doing what you are interested. You're doing the steps needed to be able to reach your why. You'll feel accomplished. You'll have a check mark in the box. You did something for your business. Do that. It'll jog other people to do it. All ships rise on a rising tide. All right, couple minutes. Ooh, bunch of comments. Let me look at that. If you got any questions off of anything I've said tonight or any other topic, feel free to unmute yourself and ask away. Some great comments in here. Any questions off of anything from tonight or any other questions? Anybody in Lubbock going to put me in front of some people tomorrow?
Yeah, where are you at?
I am on 26th Street, I believe, in Indiana. I'm right south of the college, Texas Tech.
Okay, perfect. Awesome.
Yeah, so reach out to me on Messenger or reach out to me on text, and we'll get something scheduled up.
Perfect. Sounds great.
All right, links are there. Thank you, Stan, for posting that. Don't overcomplicate. Duplication is the key. Absolutely. Love it, love it, love it. Awesome.
Hey, Casey.
Yes, sir. What you got, Mr. Ward?
This is Keith Ward, Austin, Texas. Great training tonight. You taught me some things that I didn't know. One question. So we enroll a customer and you've given us a great blueprint to follow. And I hope everyone was taking notes because that was artful and masterful. And so I want to set the great expectation for the customer because the customer service is everything in this business. And so in setting the right expectation and we follow this blueprint and we enroll a customer, isn't the right expectation by telling the customer, hey, you're going to be contacted by Think Energy, and this is what they're going to say, or this is what they're going to ask you to confirm as you rolling into this this plan. Is that something that happens automatically, and are we setting the expectation as a team in doing that?
You can let them know that there's a possibility that somebody might call them to verify that they did want to switch over. And in Texas, it's MI Rep 2. And in any of the other states, it'll be with Think Energy. That's about a 1 in 100 chance, I think, are the numbers that they'll do that. But you can set that. That's something that I'll do just to verify with them. But beyond that, not much more needs to be done from that perspective. Once they've done that verification of the link, that means that they're ready for the service. They've approved that they want the service. And then after that, you're pretty much done on that for them. I would reach out to them and say, hey, now that we've got you rolling, would you like to get 10% off of your electricity bill? What? How do I do that? Don't start with that. Start with get them in as a customer, land them, use a fishing analogy, get them in the boat, get them into the cooler, and then you can throw your line back out there to see if they might had some friends that would like to jump in the boat too. And if that's the case, then you can reach out and say, hey, if you know 3 people that use electricity, we can get this for 10% off for you and get them a great rate like we just got you a great rate. Do you know anybody that that we can talk to real fast?
Got it. Thank you so much.
That's at that point, we've got the customer. They're in. We're done. It's a done deal. You've done what you're supposed to do. Just go do it again with somebody else.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Good question. Any other questions? Got the $100 gift card. Yep. Let them know about that.
Mr. Salge.
Yes, sir.
Great training as usual.
Thank you.
Today, Mr. Procopio was talking about the gift card promotion, how amazing it went in December, that it's going very well right now in January. And for the foreseeable future, it is going to be used. But he is telling everybody to not tell everybody, oh, it's permanent. Tell them it ends at the end of the month. If it goes well this month,
We'll do it
We
again.
may bring it back next month. Make sure you're edifying it and then giving the customer the FOMO, the fear of missing out, if they decide to wait.
That's
because-
good marketing. Yep.
That's the advice that he gave and doesn't want anybody to miss out on it.
Yep.
If you say, oh yeah, we do it every single week, don't worry about missing
Yeah.
tonight.
There's no urgency. Yeah. There's no
They're
urgency.
not gonna come next week.
That's right. Yeah. You know, the truck dealership doesn't go out and say, hey, come whenever you want this year. It's fine. We have trucks all year. We're going to have deals every single month. You know, we are. They're like, oh no, this is the last time we're ever making trucks. Ford's never making an F-150 ever again. You must come this weekend or all hell's going to break loose. That's marketing. So same thing goes here. Absolutely. You know, when they do the markdown, they raise the prices by double and then they marked them off by 50%. And then you went and bought it. This is how it works. Good marketing. Good call out. All right. Last call for questions or comments. Excellent. Thank you all very much for jumping on. We hit 20 today. I love it. I would love for you all to take a picture of your list of 100, post it on the group and say that we want to make sure that if you weren't at Power Hour this week, you set your alarm for it next week. I would love to have at least 30. I would prefer 40 in the group next week. So you all bring somebody that wasn't already here. All right, go ahead and unmute yourselves. Tell everybody good night, and we will see you at the next one. Thank you all for jumping on tonight.
Later, everybody. Good night. Thank you, Casey.
Great job, Casey.
Appreciate your
Good
time.
night. Casey.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Casey. Great job. And welcome Anthony and Heather Garcia, brand new partners this week.
Love it.
Thank you, Casey.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.